It's showtime.
Hello and welcome to the In All Fairness podcast.
This high-class Hollywood orgy.
Listen, go fuck yourself. Your broken computer.
See you at the party, Richter.
Do I hold the button before I put it in my mouth or after?
Stick around.
So with the weather that we've had, with the snow, the schnockte,
Hashtag schnockte.
and no internet, so I've been sitting down watching a lot of daytime TV, and I have an addiction.
And the only cure.
Wow. Fucking
The only cure is internet.
Tipping Point. Do you know what Tipping Point is?
Man, I only see this stuff. This is like a weird sort of pilgrimage when I go to my grandparents' house in England. And it's just like, it's really way too warm in that house, like old people's houses.
Yeah.
I'm sitting down on the big massive TV that they have for some reason, and we just watch The Chase and Tipping Point.
Yeah.
And used to be Deal or No Deal, but anymore. But I just watch these game shows.
Thousand Deal or No Deal.
Oh god, I realised how shit it was. No Deal.
I fucking, when I worked in
Noel Edmonds
England,
disappeared into his own self-importance.
Yeah.
Edmund.
He chose poorly.
It shows poorly.
Oh yeah, the Holy Grail is in one of them. He has to open the right box.
He's
He had to do his remake.
There's like a previous show host. It's like, finally, a champion!
I used to fucking watch that non-stop when I worked in England, because my break would always happen and that'd be on Channel 4, so I'd go and watch it.
Russell Howard described it perfectly as Who Wants to Be a Millionaire for thick people. It's pointing at boxes. There's no, it's like, oh, got a strategy. It's like, what fucking strategy?
But Tipping Point, man, I've been watching like double episodes every day.
Tipping
and then
Point,
it's on 3+, and then it's double episodes as well.
It is stupidly riveting.
It is.
It's stupid.
The worst part
But it
is,
takes so long.
we were in England when me and Dad and my mum and Derek went over to England. At one point, we went into an arcade and played Tipping Point. Because it is just, it
is that fucking casino.
No,
yeah.
it literally is an actual thing.
Yeah.
It's, you take 5 pence pieces, you have an entire there was one out in Salt Hill.
I used to
in
work
the
in
arcade
Bundoran,
there.
man.
Yeah.
I know.
And you have this and you put it in, and I remember sitting down and watching TV because I had nothing else. I was at home and I just sat down and flicked it on. I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, that's a giant version of a thing my dad used to love.
Oh,
what the
but
fuck?
But it is riveting.
We made fun of it like a stupid fucking show. And then it's like, oh fuck it, I'll give it a go. It's like answering the questions and you're like, come on, you're on the rim of your
The
seat.
questions are stupid. It's like, you can do it. And it gets so close. It's like, how did you... Why is this riveting? Like, the chase is good. Like, the chase is actually...
intelligent.
The chase is more intelligent, yeah. But, like, you
That's finished, isn't it?
No,
you get thick people.
Although your man's going to be the
he's a companion for Doctor Who.
for Doctor Who.
The host.
Bradley.
Oh, the big
Bradley
lad.
Walsh.
No, Bradley Walsh, the
Bradley
host of
Walsh,
it.
the host.
He's one of the companions.
Oh, really?
He's one of 3 companions.
Okay.
You're like,
Alright.
He is funny. He was a good stand-up.
He was a stand-up comedian?
yeah. And he was
I
in
just know
Coronation Street.
he's just been
Didn't he?
a host.
Wasn't he the guy who used to do a thing on? He used to have a show on ITV on a Saturday, and there was one thing he used to do where he had this little puppet of a gopher, and he'd like, do whatever someone underneath the table.
I was like, it's a pop head.
Yeah,
No,
and he used to like smash
I
it
don't
in the head
think-
with a
I don't think
stick or
that's
something,
him.
and every time the audience would boo, and he'd go, "It's a pop head."
It's
just so
I
dumb.
know, I don't think it is him.
Who
I have a
wants
feeling
to...
it might be?
Like, I remember this really deep conversation about Deal or No Deal, how shit it was, like, with someone, but it got really, like, intense, and I'd love to leave it in something. It's like how Deal or No Deal represented... This is true, like we were watching it, it's like, this represents everything. It's like, you have no idea what's in that fucking...
It wasn't in the deal.
What's in that fucking box, right? And all these people think they're actually winning something, but this game is fucking rigged against them the whole way through. And Noel Edmonds is the church or the state, and he thinks he can help you. You know what the fucked up thing is? Even he doesn't know what's in the fucking box.
I do remember seeing one, and I think the guy was down to the choice he had was it 250,000 at the top or something, and £5.
Yeah.
He'd managed to get down to that, and the banker rings and offers him something like 100,000 or
Yeah,
something.
and he said no.
And he's like, no, opens a box with fibre.
Yeah. Oh, that happened as well. The fella had 1p in it.
Yeah.
Well, there was the switch the boxes one, yeah.
You can switch.
That's-
That's the
That's the
option
point.
again.
That's the point where you would literally just jump up on that table, bend down, and just take a giant shit in the fucking
You take Noel
box.
Edmonds hostage, like, just give me something, right?
We're giving you a penny. That's not enough.
You can't give me everything and take it away. I don't know why he was Scottish.
They always are.
The banker is a wanker. But speaking of riveting stuff,
Are we going to talk about
Muscle Man
Steel
is getting an ongoing series.
And a movie.
No, wait,
And a movie.
fuck off. Yeah?
Yeah.
And a movie.
And a movie.
A movie.
Yeah, James
James
Franco's
Franco.
going to play the multiple men.
Why?
Person.
As Tommy Wiseau.
Everybody love each other.
Oh my god, before we get into the roast of the fucking X-Men, I watched
Disaster
Artist.
And you didn't like it.
I hate James Franco. I think he's an overrated actor. I
But
liked him in Spider-Man.
It's a good movie.
And he
Gordon.
does a good James Dean, but like he didn't get nominated for an Oscar, but he got a Golden Globe for Best Actor for playing not Tommy Wiseau, because none of his characteristics are there.
Man, he's Tommy Wiseau.
He's not. He doesn't even
is.
speak like Tommy Wiseau.
Yes, he does.
He doesn't. Tommy Wiseau doesn't speak in the third person.
Yes, he does. Did you read the book?
No.
No. Okay. Well, I did, and it was great. And
Elected
that
to
movie,
read,
not to
to
read, but it was good to the book. It was funny. It was a good movie, and there are moments in the distance, like when he's got the glasses on, he looks like Tommy fucking
No, he
Wiseau.
doesn't.
Yes,
At
he
no
does.
point does he look like Tommy
When
Wiseau.
he's got the
at
glasses
all.
on.
You fucking need glasses on if you think that he looked like Tommy Wiseau. He's too fucking tall, skinny, and his face is too non-melted.
The face isn't as melted as it could be. True. But leave
The
your stupid
only-
comments in your pocket.
The only bit
Couldn't
in that
afford the
movie
wax.
that he actually did anything resembling Tommy Wiseau was the fucking...
Tear me apart.
No, well, yeah, that, but the comparison scene at the end credits, where it's like shot by shot, like done, but
I don't know.
no, because when Tommy Wiseau shows up in the after credits and they're talking to each other, you're like, that's fucking terrible, James Franco. Hang your head in shame.
He does the laugh well.
Yeah.
But you can't. You can't just do a direct fucking copy. It's the same thing, and to get into even more fucking nerdy, spoilery thing or more nerdy territory, it's the kind of thing where there's a lot of people giving out for the 3 or 5 words that fucking your man has said as Han Solo. Going, that's not Han Solo. It's like you can't just do
Oh,
it.
really? What is it? Is that what he says?
No, we're fine.
I know what. No, he goes, I know.
Yeah, she's like,
Camilla
I know who you really are.
I know who you really are, and he just.
Yeah, but it's like, there's people going, that doesn't sound like Han Solo. You're like, you can't.
It's a
The
young version of
Yeah,
Han
but there's a
Solo.
whole thing of like, there's people kind of going and because
We're fine.
But the same thing happened when
How are
they
you?
when they first heard Chris Pine. When they first heard Chris Pine doing Kirk, everyone was going, that's not Kirk. And it is.
I
Because
think
he is Kirk. He has that spirit. He catches that.
he is more Kirk. Maybe it's
Kirk.
then he's more Kirk than that lad is Han Solo, and it's not that lad's fault. It's not at all. I think he's a good actor, whatever his fucking name is from Hail Caesar. He's a good actor, and I do like him. I just don't particularly give a shit about this movie.
Oh no, that's
Here's
that's
the thing for Han Solo, right? They're doing a fucking prequel. No one cares. They should
No
have just
one.
done a Lando with
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover.
I think that's what this
There's
kind
your
of is.
fucking prequel, right? Do a Han Solo movie, but set it between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. What was him and Chewie doing out in space?
But he's too old.
It doesn't matter.
He's not coming back. That's the thing. He is not
I
coming
know he's
back.
dead, but it
Don't-
doesn't matter.
Dude,
He
don't.
was still he was still the same in what's the fucking 7th movie called?
Force Awakens.
You know what I mean? That is Han. So yes, it's the actor and whatnot, but you know what I mean. It's a realistic depiction of what he would be like at that age.
But there is
It's
a problem
done.
with that. I have a problem with that as well. Of like that literally is just that's basically saying that's the opposite of what people then say about Luke Skywalker in the last one, because
Because he
that's
didn't change.
yeah, that's the thing of like you literally have taken Han Solo, put him in a bubble, and left him there. You haven't done anything really because he doesn't really evolve. The only time you see him kind of evolve.
No, he did. but
No,
it-
the only time you see him evolve is when he's literally around Leia and then around Ben.
Well, my
It's the only, everything else is like, oh, this is the Han Solo.
my counter to that would be that he probably did, and they're doing that in the novels now with Bloodline and that he did, but then this shit fucked off, and he said, "I'm going back to what I fucking was." So he kind of reverted back to that. Is how I see it.
Oh no, I can get that, but it's
and to tie it all back into the X-Men,
Mm-hmm.
Han
Harrison
Solo
Ford
tried
is the X-Men.
something and failed. You know, well, things went to shit. So he went back to being what he was good at,
Like,
a smuggler,
yeah.
like Gambit. During the trial of Gambit, when he
Actually-
fucking was left to die and everything failed, he went back to being what he was good at, being a thief. Go on, roast away, Colin.
No, not a roast. John, not to do that. Just a very, very quick thing. With Force Awakens, did Ben or Han strike the lightsaber?
Oh, Ben.
I was thinking they were going to reveal that Han did it, but they've gone in a completely different direction now.
I don't think it's ever going to be fully answered.
No,
I think it's Ben.
It's
like
Ben.
I had a thing for a while, but I think it is
If
actually
Abrahams
Ben.
had done the sequel,
It would have been. It might have been Han.
No, if Abrams did the sequel, we wouldn't know anything about absolutely anyone in that film.
Oh no, you would have got answers.
No, you
No,
would have.
you wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
You
Well,
Snoke wouldn't have died.
I know, because his whole thing.
He had
the
outlines.
mystery box. Yeah, but the mystery box bullshit.
he does do that though,
Yeah.
and I think that's. I was saying that to you before we
What was the
recorded.
mystery box in Star Trek though?
Oh man, he did it in Lost. I think that I genuinely think, and I have a fear that they had no plan, and it looks like they didn't really, by what Ryan Johnson has said, and they just. Yeah, he did. He threw out Snoke. He threw out this. Where'd you get? I stored it for another time. All that shit. I think it was like, oh, that would be so. People are still going to see the movie. I think it is just. I don't think it's out of hatred or anything, but I think they only really made these for. I know it's naive to say they would
money.
have for money, yeah, but they would have done that anyway. Like it's.
Well, they spent 43 billion or something. How billions? 4 billion? No, that was UFC. I'm rambling. But they spent billions.
4 billion.
4 billion.
4 or 6. I think they could have gotten more. But
And
like,
he's given away a large chunk of that already.
To charity, yeah.
But isn't his compound in thing? He's building a housing estate on it.
yeah, he's
for
building
affordable housing.
He's building affordable housing to fuck over his cunt neighbours who wanted it. He wanted to build a place for underprivileged kids, like a film school or something like that. It was something to do with community outreach, and they were all for it. But then they were like, "Oh, not in my backyard." And they dragged it out with lawsuits. I'm probably getting this wrong. You look it up yourselves. And then he said, all right, no, fuck it. Here, I give it to the state for affordable housing. There's your fucking property values gone down, you dickheads. J.J. Abrams is starting to look like him as well. Have you seen that picture?
Yeah.
He's got the flannel and the...
Oh wow.
Can only be one. I shouldn't make fun of it. Like, you can, but like, I do genuinely, like, for the good and the bad, and for all the bullshit. I do think George Lucas is such an interesting guy. In a lot
George
of ways.
Lucas as a director, you're horrible, but as a fucking
As a human being, yeah.
you're-
His daughter's an MMA fighter.
What?
Yeah,
He raised an MMA fighter.
yeah,
Well, yeah, she's probably used to running into fans of the prequels.
yeah.
This
Probably.
this is a good point.
To beat the
She's
children,
trained
yeah.
by Ray Park.
But actually, to do the whole thing, the Star Trek, the original stuff of the reboot
Yeah.
prequel or the reboot twist isn't in the movie. It's from the trailers to the movie. It's the trailers give you one thing, and then the movie gives you the whole thing of like, no, it's about it all. It's not just a reboot. It's about an alternate universe, kind of.
Yeah.
Rather than the sequel has the incredible thing of like, no, it's Khan.
Oh yeah, the John Harrison. That's what Empire is called now. Pulling a John Harrison.
Oh
Where it's like John
Which has
Harrison
that
was
thing
a
of, like,
convenient
It's like
fiction.
you're fucking cast Benedict Cumberbatch. There's
No,
only
but
one person.
it's not
who
even
can
like
play
it wasn't even that. It wasn't even the fact that they kept it secret. It's what gets me about the most about that bit is the reveal.
Yeah.
Where it has like the camera, like when he says it, the camera like swooshes in and it shows the reaction of the other two, and the other two's only reaction is like, "Who?
Yeah.
We've never heard." Like again, Star Trek 2, they'd heard of him because he was in the series, but this is like,
Let's go ask other Spock who the fuck
yeah,
Khan Noonien Singh is. It's like he's an Indian guy, and then they have to explain it in the comics. He's an Indian guy played by a Mexican, with a Mexican man with a massive cleavage on him, and now he changed his face.
And he has some power over this fantasy island. The plane, boss, the plane.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
That wasn't it him?
was it Ricardo?
Yeah.
Ricardo Montalban.
Yeah. He was on Fantasy Island.
Ah, well, but like, okay. So, what are we doing now? Are we taking the piss out of the X-Men?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
cool.
can go
Let's
to
take
that.
Yeah, let's take the piss out of the X-Men.
Yeah.
We haven't talked enough about them. So, Gordon, who's your least favourite X-Men? And we've already done Jubilee.
Least favourite.
Yeah.
God, we could be here all day.
No, we could be here all day.
See, here's my thing is, I don't think there's such thing as bad characters, just bad writers. Okay, and
Weevil.
No, there are bad characters.
there's bad characters.
Weevil.
Who?
Weevil.
Who the fuck
Or not
is
we-
Weevil?
Is it Weevil the lad with the two stomachs? The stomachs that are worms?
Oh, that's Maggot.
Maggot.
Has potential.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Toad.
Okay, Toad was all the time. Like,
Toad.
what's your power? Well, my power is up.
I
until-
look fucking horrible. That's
I
my
look
power.
Look
I
like the
like to
Hunchback of Notre Dame, but if once the 2000 comes around, the X-Men movie comes out, I'm going to look like Ray Park.
Toad.
Isn't there a character in the X-Men who has this whose mutant ability is he's the silence. Anytime someone looks away from you, forget who he is.
Yeah, forget me not.
Yeah. That's a fucking dumb character. Yeah. Although it would be a great way to kill a villain. Have him just walk up to them and then go, "What's that?"
That's probably what's happened. His lads have just disappeared. Like Toad, if Toad was real, Toad would just be in the Jackass crew. He would just be like he would have killed Steve-O. He'd have found a way to have actually done it, and like Toad would just be like with Wee Man and Preston and jumping off buildings and like using his tongue to do disgusting things, and it'd be all MTV, and it would be that's
He
that.
spits acid, I think.
Does he?
I think.
Well, that's what it would be. Toad would be in.
Weird mucusy thing.
I'm Johnny Knoxville. I'm Toad, and we're gonna fucking.
What's his real name?
Oh fuck! I can't
Does he have a
remember.
real name?
No, he has a real name, but it's
It's very on the nose.
No, it's not.
Amphibious
It's
Jones.
like Hubert. No,
Like, what is
it's
it?
not
Todd
Hubert.
Pole.
Fucking Edward Nigma.
No, this
I'm
is
pretty
my
proud of
small
Todd
son,
Pole.
Harvey One Face. No, he has like a fucking like a posh English name, kind of.
He gave birth to an ugly. He's not even a mutant. He's just inbred.
But then you've got the Blob.
Yeah, but the Blob.
But
is
here's the
just-
thing: what is the Blob like he is in the movies where you can in Last Stand where you can start?
No, that's
over
not the
again?
Blob. That is not the Blob in The Last Stand. I don't know who that is, but it's not the Blob.
Could the Blob have
The
been?
Shrinking Man or something like that. The Blob is.
Or is the Blob like he is in fucking
Origins?
Wolverine,
He just-
where it's like
he
I
just
was
can't
okay,
move.
and then I got fat.
No, he can
If
move.
he stays still, you can't
No,
move.
he's
him.
just you can't move him. He's a movable object, but he's also like
He's
I think
also an
Wolverine
unstoppable
can like
force.
fucking stab him, but he won't actually cut him. Like he just hand goes into him and whatnot.
But surely the Blob. Like, does the Blob have to be evil just because he's fat? Like, couldn't he be like a normal guy? Couldn't the Blob like work at the post office or
He's
some
just a
shit? Like,
dick, like.
how would he even find out his power? He stood still and got hit by a train. Like
He's just really fat. He could be just an obese American. Maybe he's not even a mutant.
he's managed to weaponize obesity. Yeah. He's like
thank
three
you,
generations of like focused corn syrup.
We're pretty much we're pretty much going through the fucking Brotherhood of Evil Mutants Mark II. You have Destiny, who was Mystique's lover, and possibly
A video game.
that too.
A stripper name.
She
Probably a
could
porn
see
star name.
the future. I think is her whole.
How did they
gimmick.
defeat her?
I
Why did she join the bad guys? She can see the future and see them lose.
don't know, but I think she's responsible
Comics.
for Days of Futures Past, because I think in Days of Future Past gets kicked off in the comics because they kill Robert Kelly, and Kitty Pryde goes back in the time and stops him.
She has good power.
Kitty Pryde.
Yeah, but Kitty Pryde is Shadowcat, yeah.
Yeah,
But
she's too Mary Sue.
listen, she's an interesting power.
Mm-hmm.
But how does she not go through the floor? And she got real fucking lucky the first time she used her powers and didn't go through the entire Earth. And just end up like slingshotting around the fucking core of the Earth. Like
just bouncing up and down like that elevator in Total Recall.
yeah, winding up next in fucking Australia.
Toad's real name is Mortimer Toynbee.
Toynbee.
He first appeared in X-Men #4. He's one of the
Mortimer
old-
Toynbee, yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the older. Blob is Fred Dukes. He's just fat.
He's just fat.
Well, yeah, no, Kitty Pryde. Kitty Pryde is a bit of a Mary Sue character in the sense like she can do everything.
No, she can go through everything.
Yeah, but she's a trained samurai.
Is she?
Yeah.
Why?
Because she's one of Wolverine's fucking sidekick characters as well. Her and Jubilee.
But martial arts must be a lot easier when people literally cannot touch you.
This is true.
Why do you even need to learn how to fight?
This is true.
You need to know how to get into like. Does she drop shit? Like
What do you mean?
her clothes go with her.
Yeah, you see, anything that she touches becomes intangible. So she can like. What she do? Is it the recent issue of Deadpool? She phases Deadpool halfway through a window and then stops, so the window fucking breaks inside, and he's all like, "I've got glass in my ass." But Yeah, she'd be one of my least favourite characters, is Kitty Pryde.
No, only because of the movies, my least favorite. Just from what it ended up being, especially in like the complete uselessness of bringing her into Days of Future Past, was the Rogue.
Oh, Rogue!
Like just what they did to her character is
the
just
movie version of Rogue just sucks.
Yeah.
Well, Rogue's power is she can take your powers.
Yeah, but she also takes your memories, your feelings, everything. She absorbs everything from you.
But she gets your powers if she takes them for a temporarily.
Limited period of time, but at one point she absorbed Miss Marvel, because Rogue was originally a villain when she first showed up. Like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's her Mystique, it's her adoptive mother. I see, I'm getting mixed up between the comic book origin and the TV show origin, which is pretty much the same, but her powers manifested kind of like in the movie. She kissed a boy called Cody and left him in a coma, and then she went on the run. I think her parents like disowned her or something. She went on the run, Mystique took her in, and Mystique raised her, and she was a villain, and she absorbed Miss Marvel's power, and for some reason it stuck with her. I think she's like
Which is what, super strength?
super strength, flight.
Rogue can fly?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But then around the noughties kind of time period, she
they did a reset or something on
no,
some
she ended up, she absorbed pyro, so she could use not pyro, sunfire, so she could fire flames out of her hands and whatnot. And then it got to the point where she could control her powers, so she could pick and choose. And
But from what I remember from the TV show,
Yeah.
there was her, but I remember Spike. And it wasn't
no,
Spike.
you're thinking
The evolution, yeah.
Spike was created for the show.
Oh, was he?
Because he's Storm's nephew.
Oh, I thought he was her son.
But wasn't there a character like that in the comics? Was Marrow or something that's kind of like that?
Marrow was like that.
Who has
yeah.
like the fucking bone
Yeah,
spine.
she was
But
a
Mar-
Marrow.
things.
Marno, like, it hurts her, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
that
it did for a bit.
sucks.
Gambit
Like,
fixed that. Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to break a bone off of,
Yeah.
and then kind of, like, you grow it out of your arm or something, and you're like, I don't actually want to pull it off. It's just too painful. And then trying to get your like shirt around it and stuff, and walk around with it sticking out of you. And
Well, she wore tank tops, but she used to just rip bits out and fuck them at people. Like, there's a great bit where the X-Men are...
can she donate bone marrow?
I don't know.
She could help a lot of kids with leukemia, Sean. She
Shadow,
could just make art,
Shadow Cat Man
painful
could
art.
just become a dentist and, like, oh, my tooth hurts, you're going to have to extract it. Just pull it out. No pain, no fuss, no cuts, no incisions.
Or a doctor.
Or a doctor.
Could you imagine that? Like, you're intangible, but you're not clever enough. You failed, like, you failed first year medicine and that. You just
Well, technically, she is a doctor in Flatliners,
okay,
but that's
a stupid
a
doctor.
bad movie.
Then you got, like, sticking with the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, Mark II, you've got Avalanche. Is it Avalanche?
If you yell at him, he falls over.
No, he can create seismic fucking...
His weakness is Saint Bernard's.
Is there at any point when someone literally did a crossover between Captain Planet and the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants and just realised, wait, we're kind of the same here?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got Earth, Fire, Fat.
We should form a band. Cover in September, all of them. Magnetism.
Magneto has, like, the best powers.
Magneto has great, clever powers. And Magneto never goes like, Sham, I'll wipe your credit cards. He can inconvenience you so badly. She's like, fuck you. And you can't do anything.
They have, like...
But can you imagine him using a mobile phone and he sneezes? It's like, fuck.
Wiping
Lost
every
another
hard drives.
The thing is, with Magneto and
Fuck
Xavier,
you.
they're like the two... When they were first grade, it was...
What, dissertation?
Yeah.
These two most powerful mutants. One of them, his power is his mind. Like, he's telepathic. But he's crippled. He's in a wheelchair. Made of metal. And his main villain is Magneto, who wears a helmet which protects him from Xavier's powers and controls metal.
I would kind of love to see that, though.
You
Like,
fucking refrigerator.
if they came in, if like the brother came into Charles and he's like, I'm wearing this helmet, so you can't fucking do shit. Yeah, but the dude next to you isn't. So, like, why do only you have the helmet?
They did that in the end. They did that in the movie.
Why
when
don't
she
we
has
all
Rogue.
have helmets?
Yeah, but they did that in the movie when Toad carrying, or is it Toad or Sabretooth carrying Rogue? And then starts walking off, and it's Xavier controlling them. And
No, Toad's carrying Rogue, and he's got Cyclops visor on his head, like sunglasses. And he controls...
Meanwhile, Cyclops is like, ah!
He controls fucking Sabretooth, who grabs
Yeah.
Magneto by the throat and taps on the helmet to be like, hey, read my mind. Oh,
But then the other
Surely
side,
he can't, like, he can possess someone next to him, like he can possess Nightcrawler. It's like, Nightcrawler, I need to borrow you.
Yeah.
And like, and Nightcrawler wouldn't be cool with that. Like, so can he get him while he's in transit, like in teleporting?
No.
Okay.
Don't
Well,
fuck.
he grabs Nightcrawler, makes Nightcrawler teleport, grab the helmet off, and teleport away to like just
Or-
somewhere random and like bury it.
Or control Kitty Pryde,
Yeah.
get Kitty Pryde to walk up inside Magneto and then solidify.
Yeah.
Obliterate
But
him.
then
Yeah.
she dies as well.
Does she?
Well, it says so. She's inside the guy.
That's a horrible idea. Ugh.
No, but wouldn't that just mean that like everything around just gets pushed out rather than that? Because it'd be the same with the whole thing with Nightcrawler is that when it's the whole BAMF thing.
Yeah.
The point behind it is that it's the air around the space rushing in and it's the noise that it creates. So when he goes into it, he's basically when he reappears, he's displacing
But
air.
they never brought into the movies that it smells like brimstone. Every
He
time he
is
bans,
cool.
Which means
So what,
fart.
sulfur?
Smells like sulfur. He
Yeah, it smells
farts.
like rotten eggs.
He is very cool.
He is very cool.
But the thing is, it never.
Where
gets
is he?
mentioned
He's
enough.
German, isn't
He's
he?
German. Kurt Wagner. He.
When was he? Because they were making it. He probably annoyed the border guards as well. Fucking whenever the wall was up, it's like, I'm over East Germany, West Germany. We can't stop him.
Well,
He could take everyone who wanted to leave East Germany and bring them into West Berlin. Like, ha ha. Again with the teleporting, like you can grab world leaders. And there's nothing they can do. Like,
There's so many
Well,
things
there
like
is,
that.
because they're like. Okay, so you got to teleport in, grab the world leader, and then teleport out.
you could take people's shit. Like,
But
What if
there's a
Nightcrawler has-
sniper fucking trained on the world leader at all times to protect him from Nightcrawler bamfing in and fucking stealing him?
take the sniper.
Yeah, take the snipers first.
There's two snipers, one protecting that one, but you don't know about it. Plus,
That's like
Eventually, the president needs to take a shit. He needs to go somewhere where I can grab
so he's
him.
just waiting in his bathroom. Also, the way his powers work
Imagine if that was your first day in the White House and they're like, listen, just so you know, we've managed to foil him so far. There was a few slip-ups with Bill Clinton and that, but there's a guy who can teleport and he is after you. We don't know why. He hasn't published any sort of Unabomber manifesto. He just kind of wants to grab the president of the United States, but it's only within your term limit. We're going to have to avoid him. We've got checks and balances, like we got sniper teams and like just shitty things. We haven't been able to kill him yet, but just so you know, there's a dude
whose name
wants
is Martin.
who wants to grab you
Possibly.
and fuck you off somewhere. We don't know what happens. Like, Bill didn't want to talk about what happened to him.
Also, he looks like the devil, so don't be a blue devil, so don't.
But there's a lot of them like that. I mean, even in the comics now, it's like Storm. I'm pretty sure could probably stop climate change.
Yeah, maybe. But Storm could also, like, you know, stop hurricanes, and it's like, well, Hurricane Katrina, thanks a lot, Storm.
Well, no, we can get to Storm in a second.
She
but
could
no,
have made sure we didn't get this fucking snowstorm.
Nightcrawler. See, what I'll bring into these roasts is actual balance in a sense. Where so Nightcrawler, the noise gives away where he's going to be or where he was. The way his powers work is he has to know where he's going. So if he's never been in the bathroom of the White House, he can't just teleport into the bathroom.
He
of
has
the
to
White
be
House.
to the place.
Not that he's to be.
He has to
He has
know
to
what it
know,
is.
or
Like
see. He has to see.
Jumper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's to see where he's going or know where he's going, right? Also, which doesn't get mentioned enough, really, or remembered enough with Nightcrawler is he can climb. He's like Spider-Man. He can stick to walls and climb around.
He's got a
shit.
tail, too.
And he's got a tail that he can use. Like, but he doesn't just teleport. He can like fucking run up and walls and shit like Spider-Man. And he's blue and furry and looks like a demon.
Nightcrawler.
So has he ever gone to like a Halloween party dressed as Spider-Man
Maybe.
and climbing up walls and shit? That'd be a cool.
And he's a
concept.
fencer as well. He's very good.
Oh, yeah, because in the game he had a sword on his tail. I remember that. Like-
And then you have with Storm is
They would make a
What?
mutant Olympics, man, and it
Yeah.
would just ruin the normal Olympics.
It'd be so much fun.
No one would watch it. It'd be monetized as shit. Like, it'd be like WWE after a while.
yeah.
Imagine the opening ceremony with the they wouldn't even run with the torch. They just give the torch to Nightcrawler and he'd teleport to the stadium. They wouldn't even run it around the world.
Quicksilver.
Yeah. Or you just literally have Storm and you'd have the main thing there.
Oh,
You just
lightning.
lightning bolt to do it.
It'd be the best thing ever.
The thing with Storm now, again, unless the character's name is Gambit, I don't know a lot about them.
She marries T'Challa.
Yeah, but then they break up. and then she's banging Wolverine. Now she's got feelings for Old Man Logan, and she was with Forge for a while, and whose power is
She's a hussy.
can create anything he can think of. Apparently, I think with him, I could be wrong on it. He's got an organic metal leg, and he's Native American, but he can
Just make shit.
He can
He's a
make shit.
replicator.
Kinda.
So if he was brought on TV and they can make him feel really bad, it'd be like, so what's the first 5 things you made? It'd be like, I made a car, I did this, I did that. It's like, did you make a cure for cancer? No, that didn't even fucking occur to you. No. Oh, okay.
Did you make a possible...
Is Forge an asshole? Like, what should Forge actually make?
But Storm's
Did you
power-
make a
Forge should have a
sustainable
YouTube channel.
food?
Like, send me shit that you think I should make, and I'll
Yeah,
do it.
yeah,
Be like Arnold crushing shit with his tank.
yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to the hydraulic press channel. That's what fucking Russian channel.
Colossus.
Colossus just be like, watch Colossus destroy shit. Like,
But that's what he did in the cartoon. He worked on a construction site.
Yeah.
But,
he could have gotten a way better paid job than that. Like,
but what could he do?
loads of shit.
Because
He's a,
mutants
well, no,
are
the only
hated,
thing,
though.
he's a very good artist.
So yeah, he can. I can do that. As like, by the
Like
way,
when Xavier found
what's
him,
his like Instagram look like?
when Xavier found him, he was in Russia, fucking pulling
DeviantArt
a plow.
He would be
He was
like.
plowing fields in Russia.
He could be out winning
The
the war in
USSR.
Afghanistan. Like he'd be in
Yeah,
the Soviet Union.
bulletproof.
Yeah, he'd be out doing shit like, or like he'd be speaking at events. I think he'd be like Schwarzenegger, or like he'd be like the Klitschko's, even though I know they're Ukrainian. But like he'd have a public life of like, I kick the shit out of people for the good of mankind, but at the same time, like I'm really into the environment. I build sculptures in my spare time. I've written a few books of poetry.
As far as I know, with Storm, the way her powers work is she can't exactly make it be sunny here. It will affect.
She can't control the sun.
No. What I mean is like whatever
It's
weather,
clouds.
whatever weather she puts here, it's going to affect someplace else.
Oh, butterfly effect.
Yeah, so it's like she can't make it rain in Africa without there being repercussions somewhere else. Now,
Unless she wins in a casino.
I don't know if I got that. Oh, you fucker. I don't know if I got that from a fan fiction or if it was actually something that that was true, but the retconned. I think I remember.
She could hold nations to ransom. There'll be sanctions on a country.
Pete Holmes, man, did it perfectly where he's talking about Wolverine. He goes, we go up against Magneto, who controls metal, which you are made of, 90%. What would you do? He goes, oh, I run at him. I run really fast.
I have a motorcycle.
I have a motorcycle. So I can use you, who has a motorcycle, and by the time you get from one end of the bridge to the other, he's killed like a lot of people. Or I could use Storm, who can just fly over and drop him in a hurricane.
Hit him with
A
lightning.
goddamn hurricane.
No, she could be like she could impose sanctions. If you'd have to, geopolitics would be different. You'd have to align with Storm's
Storm
views.
is the most powerful X-Men, I think. And I think
She'd be one of them.
She could just fucking. She's a
If she
one-man
doesn't,
gang.
she doesn't agree with a government or something. She's like, I'm gonna ruin your harvest, or I'm gonna cover you in snow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck it up for you now. Like, and at the same time, I think I'll irrigate Africa just to be sound. Like,
I'll take all the rain that's meant to fall on Ireland and I'll send it to Africa.
But that's the thing that always comes back to is.
she'd be getting kickbacks from tourist industries to like make this place sunny at this time.
But when you look at like in the Marvel universe as a whole, you have superheroes, you have
Mutants.
mutants, Inhumans, powered beings, and all that.
The Homo Advanced and the colorism. Homo Superior.
The mutants are the only ones that are feared and hated. Well, with the exception of the Hulk, but the Hulk is a hero because he's an Avenger.
And Spider-Man.
But the X-Men could just fucking no. Spider-Man's loved. He's just called a menace by Jonah Jameson.
Parker.
Even though now, spoiler alert, he knows. Yeah, and he's helping.
Kind of.
But you have it where like the X-Men could just. They're lucky that the X-Men don't get pissed off and just
Just
decide,
kill them all,
Fuck
yeah.
it, we're going to kill you all. We're going
'Cause-
to wipe out everyone. Magneto is right. It's a T-shirt that's in the comic books, like the Quentin Quire. He's telepathic. When Morrison is writing the comics, he had Xavier open the school to all mutants and whatever. And somebody that Quentin was a fan of was killed by humans, and he decided to stage a riot at Xavier's. But remember, he said Magneto was right. Is a whole thing that they have. But yeah, no, they should just be like, yeah, fuck it, Magneto, you're right. Let's fucking wipe out the humans.
Well, like, here's even with Magneto. Here's the thing with that. Like,
he became Hitler.
no, he controls metal.
Yeah.
All that kind of thing. Fair enough. Can he control the iron in your blood?
Yeah.
So he can literally
Well,
There's enough of it.
No. I think they covered that. This is nerdy and whatnot. I think they covered it in the movie.
He
The
does
second
that.
They
They inject him with a bunch of too much iron in your blood.
Yeah, the Mystique had to inject. I don't think there's enough metal in your blood for him to effectively pick you up and throw you around. But I think he can cut enough.
No, but would he be able
the
to
oxygen off?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, would he be able to literally, since the iron is in your blood, would he be able to literally stop your blood flow?
Kind of, yeah.
To kill you that way. He's like, oh, I think I'm having a heart attack. Oh shit, Magneto's next to me.
Really good story done years ago. It must have been, I think it was in the 90s, where Joseph, who was a clone of Magneto but younger and hotter, so the Rogue could bang him. Even though I don't know.
We have the technology.
But they had this issue where Magneto went and met a normal person on a work site to just talk to him, and this fella was going to his interaction with this one man who was a construction worker would result in what action he was going to take. So this guy didn't know anything about it, and at the very end he finds out that it's Magneto, and he freaks out because Magneto's a fucking terrorist or whatever. So Magneto, to me reading it, kind of from what I remember, it was like Magneto was always going to fucking follow through with his plan. This man had no persuasion over him whatsoever. He was going to come to the conclusion that he came to, regardless of your man's reaction to him. But I just remember it being really well done. It was like,
so I bet you, like, for that kind of thing, like Magneto and the Dark Brotherhood or whatever, they
Brotherhood of Evil
Brotherhood Mutants Mark 2, 3, 4, they
there's 6 of them.
they
Dropped 7 now.
the artists for they're like fucking, what do you call it?
The Brotherhood, formerly known as the Evil Brotherhood.
Or they're like
Formerly known as Symbol.
New Order and Wings and shit. But like I think if they existed, they'd be like the two mutants. They'd be like the alt-right, where they want a sort of an ethno-state, which is stupid. And you'd be like, okay, who's going to grow the food? Okay, maybe you got a mutant who can do that. Why do you need to wipe everyone else out? I think if you brought it into the real world, there'd probably be mutants who would be considered like public figures, but there'd probably be mutants who, like, even other mutants be like, that good dude's a dickhead. Like, there'd be some guy giving inspirational TED Talks.
Yeah.
But who was like, what was his power? Maybe it was eloquence, I don't know.
Or is he controlling us with his mind?
Yeah, so he gives motivational talks and charges you a fuckload of money for bullshit. Like,
or every time someone fucking changes their mind about something, like, maybe a mutant did that to me.
Yeah, you see, yeah, there would be paranoid stuff, but like, obviously the military would get into it. But there would be some people who there would be sort of like TED Talks, like, oh, by the way, we got people that can fertilize soil in Africa with their mind, so we're gonna change, there'd be people you'd be trying to bribe a lot of them, and there'd probably be like a sort of an arms race of like who has the most mutants. There'd be statistics done of like which country has the most mutants, or why are they being born this way, why are they being born here. And again, I'm sorry, I know we brought it up before, but like, I don't necessarily get the whole comparisons. Like, I know they used it as a gay thing and as a civil rights thing for black people. I kind of get that a bit more, but the whole my son's different, I'm ashamed, is like, if your kid had fucking superpowers, it'd be unreal. It'd be great. Like, I'd go and buy a cake. I'd be like, class. Like, Dad, what is Iceman's parents? Isn't that the thing? It's like, Dad, have you tried not being a mutant? It's like, Dad, we never have to pay for the fridge again. Like you can understand how this is cool.
Your beer will always be cold.
This is cool.
It's his mum that says it to him. But in the comic books, he's a single child, and I think he's an accountant.
But, a lot of these people would have to have normal jobs.
His dad was against him being was anti-mutant. His mom was kind of trying to keep the peace. Then his dad stood up against fucking a guy on TV, Graydon Creed, the son of Mystique and Sabretooth. Such a nerd. He was running a campaign to be president or senator or some shit like that, and Iceman was undercover working for him, but getting information for the X-Men kind of thing, And his dad stood up in an audience and gave out to Graydon Creed saying, this is disgrace, you shouldn't be hunting down these mutants and blah blah blah. And then people attacked his dad, and whatever. So they kind of reconciled after that.
That's cool.
No, but then someone went and fucking retconned it where his dad hates him again and whatnot, and there's tension there, needless tension. But then Iceman came out as gay because the younger version of himself from the past
Said he was
the
gay.
present was
Iceman was
mind raped by Jean Grey and told, "Oh yeah, you're gay." And he's like, "Yeah, I suppose I am gay."
But
How do you know he didn't fucking just wipe his mind?
telepaths are the dangerous thing. You're gonna need to police that, and you're gonna can you use telepaths in the court of law to tell if someone's lying or not? Like in a way, be like, oh, you can pervert the course of justice. Can you take their word for it? If you know what I mean, like you'd have.
Yeah, but then you could get some weak-willed guy who's
That
like,
was
she's
in-
really hot. I'm going to make her be what you call it.
Well, there's mind reading
Innocent.
and mind control, and it's like, is the word of a telepath admissible evidence in the court of law, or can a fucking horrific third world dictatorship with secret police, can there be like a telepathic Stasi that knows you're counter revolutionary or that knows you're an enemy of the state?
There's something like that. Have you seen was it Philip K. Dick's Electric Dream series?
Oh yeah.
The first one has something like that, where it's a girl who is they're empaths or something,
Yeah.
and they can kind of
But
there was a
empaths
whole
can
thing.
read emotion.
Yeah, but it's a whole thing of like there's people walking by and they're trying to find terrorists or something. It's your man, what's his name, the guy from the Red Wedding, is in it.
Yeah, no, you're on it. Yeah,
Bruce
And-
Bolton.
I watched
Yeah.
it. No, I watched
No,
it.
the guy who dies.
Oh, Rob Stark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's in.
It would be.
But it's a case of like, okay, Magneto's helmet works against telepaths. Give everybody a Magneto.
No, you'd
helmet.
have to start
But
making
then
them,
you're
or
like-
you'd have to get other
But
telepaths,
what if it's but what if it's a dick telepath that's like, oh yeah, these work, and just gives it to everyone,
and they're convinced it works.
They're
Like,
convinced it works, but it doesn't.
yeah, it's a conspiracy. That'd be Alex Jones. Like, it doesn't actually work.
Yeah.
There would be, it's a fun hypothetical, but like of the X-Men, there are some ones that are shit. There are some ones that just would actually have to have normal jobs. Like you're saying, he's an accountant. He could probably make more as an accountant than as Iceman with less risk. It's probably a smarter career choice for him to be like, oh, Barry can do this thing. Well, it's like, I can make fucking ice. That's his party trick.
Angels like Warren Worthington III. He's like a fucking from a very super rich family. Like his company was funding the Jean Grey School for mutants.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
there'd be schools.
He's a billionaire. Well, maybe he's a millionaire. But
Well, people will be angry as well. It's like, how come these kids get a great education and a really awesome school just because of the way they were born? That seems like discrimination. So do you think the Board of Education would have to make
them take in humans
in the fucking Winchester Mansion? Or is it Winchester? Or Westchester Mansion?
The Xavier Mansion.
Yeah, they'd have to take in kids, basically, who from other... Like, why don't you give the money to underprivileged kids as well?
No, that'd be like a fucking Venture Brothers where...
But then what? Like at the same time, what happens then when you get
It's a private school, though, so...
What happens when you get someone who is a telepath who's a dick, like in Push? The guy is in the casino and literally has a thing of like just pieces of paper with numbers written on it, and he just starts handing them to waitresses and shit, paying for drinks, and they just get up and leave. And it's like, as they're walking out, you can see
the
them
mafia.
behind her going, fuck.
The mafia would hate them. The mafia would probably kick the shit out of you if they thought you were telepathic, because they will do that if they think you're in Vegas. If they think you're a card counting, they'll take you outside and kick the shit out of you. Or you might be allowed to leave with your winnings, but you're not allowed in. You might have to register your power. You might have to put down.
Well, that's what the mutant registration's all about, and that's what.
But that makes sense. Like you would probably have to do something like that.
So you'd be on for registering a certain type of people.
I understand why they would do it.
I think you're becoming Hitler.
No, like.
But yeah, no. But that's the thing is you're not. You're technically not registering them for a negative because like doing someone just
You
because
register
of their religion-
diabetics.
Yeah. You're also also the whole thing of you are technically
like Rogue's powers are like
That's a health risk. Like,
like she faints or falls over or whatever, and you're like, oh, she needs mouth resuscitation. As soon as you skin to skin contact her, she needs to be in a full body condom the whole time.
But there'd also be like there might be countries as well that be incredibly xenophobic. Like Australia had a fucking horrific. Like, there was no black people allowed into Australia or something like that until the 70s or something like that. They had a very, very strict immigration policy.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a very long time, the Aboriginals were literally classified as fauna. Like, local fauna. In Australia. So you might have countries that are like, yeah, you're not allowed to have mutants come in. Or like, we don't want mutants in. Like, we don't want people with...
There's countries that would stop them having kids.
Yeah.
Guarantee it.
Yeah.
But also, like, you get one gay Muslim powerful mutant, he ain't getting thrown off that building. like it ain't happening. Like, or they are, and he survives, and he's like, you can't stone me to death. I know this is kind of taking a weird turn, but like that would be a hard thing for that. Like, how do you execute people who are like immortal for committing crimes?
Well,
do you give them a life sentence? Yeah, now you have to have different police for different people.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But then again,
like bright.
But then the kind of thing is like, what happens then with religion?
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. Like, how
religion would disappear overnight because you have gods.
No, not necessarily. I think the Catholic Church, because they're normally
God hates mutants.
The Catholic Church would be all over them immediately. They'd be like, no, because the Catholic Church were quick on. Catholic Church have positions on fucking aliens.
Oh, yeah.
So like. They'd be on there
we
now.
get to baptize them first.
Yeah, no, they'd be like, okay, no,
they were probably already baptized by the fucking.
What are they called? Xenomorphs?
Yeah,
they're the xenomorphs.
Xenomorphs,
oh,
like from Alien.
Yeah, come to Earth like baptized in a fucking xenomorph.
Giving it the last rites. Yeah.
The power of Christ compels you.
Actually, the xenomorphs might be the clincher in the abortion debate. I'm sorry, but we got to kill it and the mother, like before it hatches. Yeah, but like other kind of X-Men that would probably, a lot of them might not even realize their power, or like again they probably have to go become accountants or work it, and you feel really stupid. That would probably lead to a lot of like not mass shootings and that, but disenfranchised young people. If you have superpowers and you work in Walmart. And you can't get a job anywhere else, but you've got abilities. It would lead you into the fucking
life of crime.
Not even life of crime. You would lead you into that superior notion of like, why am I fucking here?
Well, okay, when you look at the
that would be such a different way of doing it if it turns out that mutants are real and that Magneto starts his revolution because he has a shitty job in Walmart.
At Fight Club, they'd be trafficking people as weapons nearly. Like countries would be like, we need them when they're kids, basically, so we can impression them. You'd be making like Winter Soldiers, basically. Like there'd be an arms race of like who has more mutants.
But like, okay, so in the comics, if Xavier goes out and finds these mutants, brings them in, teaches them, gives them a warm bed, a hot meal, fucking
gives them a purpose.
Yeah.
But also has all this alien technology as well from the Shi'ar to fucking help train them. And then you have Magneto, who's just like, yeah, I'm evil.
But also, Xavier has a fuckload of money. Xavier can buy politicians, like the Koch brothers. He can go like,
but he doesn't need to
buy them.
Oh yeah, no, what am I on about? He doesn't even need money. You're like, make everyone okay with this. Okay.
That's the thing, though. That's the big thing with the X-Men as well. He is the most powerful telepath.
Yeah.
Unless they've retconned that, I don't know.
But there's so many problems in the world he can fix, and he'd get so much.
Did not make her the most
They
powerful.
tried to retcon it. Oh,
he'd get so much shit from like the news.
He could just go and fucking make everybody love mutants.
The first thing everyone will do in a tragedy is like, dude, why didn't you do anything? Like Columbine, fucking 9/11, anything else like that. It's like, Xavier, did you know about this? Well, yes. It's like, why didn't you stop it? Well, I believe in the freedom of choice. Why didn't you fucking warn everyone? Couldn't you have gotten all those people out of the building first? Like, could you not have...
Did you not tell...
Magneto, why couldn't you have set off the box cutter in the fucking airport?
Or better still, just stop the plane.
Yeah, stop the plane.
Well, Magneto's evil and hates humans, so he probably just let it happen.
There would have been mutants.
It would be a
in that
PR
building.
victory.
They had an issue about 9/11. Like come out.
Yeah,
a lot of comics did.
Marvel ones.
But Doom showed up in it and like
Cried.
wept or something.
Yeah.
It's like fuck off.
Well, no,
there's some superheroes you can understand when they had like Daredevil and Spider-Man.
Every
and
penny from those fucking comics went to the
victims,
or the victims or something. Fair enough, go for it. But if you're making a profit off that shit, go fuck yourself. Same with the movie that Oliver Stone made. Same with the one United 9-3 and anyways.
What about the movie with Charlie Sheen in it?
Which one?
There's a 9/11 movie
no,
with Charlie
he's stuck
Sheen
in
in
the
it.
elevator.
Yeah,
Stupid.
he's stuck in the elevator. It's bad.
Ignore it.
Yeah,
but
it won't make profit.
He's AIDS now.
Like, I think it's only a matter of time before someone tries to be avant-garde and bring a school shooter into Westchester.
They've done shit
I'm sure
like
they've
that.
done something
I'm
like
pretty sure
that.
they have done stuff like that where like suicide bombers like they what do you call him? William Stryker.
No, but not even that.
comics,
One of the
he's
kids would go nuts and try and do that.
No, but they did in the comic book. In the new X-Men ones, the Purifiers, run by Reverend William Stryker, like blew up school buses full of mutant kids, like wiped out half the fucking school.
Oh yeah, you would
How
have
many
that.
of them died?
No, a lot of them died.
Because like how many of them have the powers to just like how many of them are like
here? There's one mutant elixir, right? He's golden. He looks like he's gold, pure gold, white hair. He's power. He can cure shit.
Yeah, so like, is the onus on him to do that?
Give him fucking, just keep feeding him, keep him well fed.
But
well
that's the other,
watered, and
yeah,
just have him
that's
go around hospitals.
yeah,
curing
that's the
people.
side of it then of like,
But he could never get to everyone.
yeah.
Right, Quicksilver, fastest. Well, they're probably faster. I don't know. The moment Quicksilver pops into my fucking head, have Quicksilver just fucking grab hold of him and just run him around, touch him. Get every
And you
mutant.
kill-
No, there's Mimic. Mimic can mimic his powers. Rogue can fucking touch him and take his powers. He can have. There's so many other mutants around that could mimic his powers.
But now you have people who can decide who can live or die. That's the thing as well.
Everybody lives.
Everybody lives. There's too many people on the earth. How do we fucking...
Throw some into the sun.
Who?
Joseph Fritzl. Start with him.
Who and who decides?
Pedophiles.
Yeah,
Just find out who to get the fucking telepaths to be like, okay, there's pedophiles all
Yeah,
over here.
actually,
Throw them into the sun.
it's like the US government finds about a cerebro. I was like, can you just give us who the sex offenders are?
Yeah.
Like, just do that. Like, he's going through the weird, like, ugh. A lot of these people are too fucking sad to leave their houses anyway, so they're not a threat, but we'll have... Or, Xavier could sit down and go, I wonder... I'll find all the pedophiles in my own head and just go, and then they all have brain aneurysms and simultaneously die across the earth. It's like, all right, that's sorted out. Yes. It's a massive... I'll watch the news and find out if there's anything interesting. It's like, oh, I didn't think he would do that. Like, famous people, like half of Hollywood is dead. You know, like there's...
Harvey Weinstein.
Like, oh, that was a plot twist.
It just explodes.
Is that like...
Oh, just fucking...
Gambling's fucked.
So somebody just fly over, pick up Roman Polanski and just drop him over in America.
Extradition.
Yeah.
They'd have a guy called Extraditer who just goes over. He's like, he's
That'd be
Extraditor for
Nightcrawler.
hire.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler would just be an American. Bam, bam.
There's so many interesting jobs, like, off the back of that. Like,
Traveling would be made easier.
well, if they want to do it, but they charge higher rates.
Pretty sure, like, Blink can just fucking open up a portal in one place and another. And just, yeah.
But
But
he'd open a
what's the range of
portal,
her powers?
I think she can teleport someone from Earth to the moon.
and that's it.
That's all our powers. Is
I work for NASA.
Yeah.
That's about it. Like it would be that if you had.
Well, that's distance-wise. That's how far she can do it.
But if Airport's just a guy who could open a portal, he'd try to monetize it. So he'd open the portal, be checking your bags and weighing them and shit. He'd be like, "That's an extra bit of this. I'm sorry, your bag isn't fit." It's like the hole is big enough for my entire family. He's like, "I understand, sir, but like it's part of our regulations that we can't. Your bag needs to have no liquids." Like, what do you mean no liquids?
You're literally stepping
I'm
through
walking through a doorway. You would have, yeah. It'd be an interesting world. They can do a lot with it, but for the stupid ones,
Yeah.
I think a lot of them would have to get normal jobs. They'd just be actual mutants, and they might have like groups they go to. It might be like there'd be a mutant sock at fucking college, like, and they put up posters and shit. They'd be like, "Are you a telepath? Or are you like this is the difference between a telekinetic, a telepath, and an empath?" It's like there's a difference, you know. They got all pure offended about it as well. Here we go.
Just write a sign in invisible ink. If you can read this, you may be a telepath.
It would be that there'd probably be shitty people at college. You'd be like, no, I went to college with a few mutants and someone was so up their own ass about, like, there's literally one guy whose powers he can go up his own ass. He was an art student, is he? He
The
wasn't
lottery would
even-
be screwed.
The lottery would be screwed. Gambling
yeah.
would be ruined. There'd be some interesting TV shows. There'd be like a mutant Big Brother, probably. There'd be mutant reality TV shows. There'd be the Jersey Shore.
That's how Civil War started in the comic.
Yeah,
It'd be like
New
you
Warriors. Were
Yeah,
the reality
you'd
TV
get
show.
something. You'd probably end up getting a show like Gladiators.
You get Dog the Bounty Hunter and you go out and be stopping people, then you drop an N-bomb and you get all this controversy. He'd have to go on fucking like TV and apologise, like, I'm sorry, I was raised this way and I know I have these abilities but I also have the responsibility for the kids. You know, set a good example. It's a family show and I know, like, sometimes the job comes home. Like, yeah, one of them would, like, what could you possibly do if, like, it's really only law. It's really only, like, if they decide to show up in court and take the fine, what are you going to do if Colossus says, like, I'm not paying the fine? And they're like, well, we're going to freeze your assets. It's like, I'll kill you. Like, or not even that. Like, I'll go rob a bank.
Then you get someone like Deadpool.
Its lawyers are going to be so powerful in this. And you'll go, like, you're going to have superpowered lawyers in a way, or like there's going to be superhero law. And you're going to have to discriminate as well because of ability. Is there a way to test if you're a mutant?
shit. I think there is.
Because we said this before, that Multiple Man could just keep his thing hidden and just like he has a permanent alibi for anything.
Yeah.
Sit in a train station in front of loads of people underneath cameras and go off and like murder people.
Yeah.
And it's like they'd have to have the lawyer ask, "Can you multiply yourself? Remember, sir, you are under oath." Yes, I can. In fact, case closed.
But that could work for any murder then, even if he is actually innocent.
It'd be interesting for trade
also,
unions.
You have to get the actual dupe who committed the murder.
The trade unions as well.
And
so
that's the question of who committed
there'd be
the murder.
lads real salty about some sham who has to like even like Sparks, you know, on a thing. Like if a Sparks plays shit on a site or on a film set, and they call in Dazzler who just lights the scene instead. It'd really hurt like the blue collar working man.
Yeah.
Like it'd be hard. Like think about someone who has super strength on a construction site is now going to put 5 people out of work.
Or you can just see like Rogue, the only job she has pretty much every year is to go to Vegas for fucking 4th of July. Just smoking heavily, standing on the roof of a fucking thing, just firing out fireworks.
Yeah, there would
That's
be.
it.
That's what Jubilee would do. Jubilee would just be doing pyrotechnics probably, and not even very good ones. Jubilee would be Tila Tequila. She says so. Jubilee would be a celebrity flat earther. That's what she would be. She would get into stupid shit, and people are like, "Oh, Jubilee's off doing something again." It's like, why is the news covering these people? It's a problem. Like they'd be mutant Kim Kardashians. And people like that, they'd have like their TV shows and they have superpowers, but they're only famous because they fucked basketball players.
I think the mutant Kim Kardashian would be the one to have the power to disappear up her own arse.
Yeah, probably.
No, it'd be Kitty Pryde. It'd be Shadowcat.
Oh, I don't know necessarily.
I can do everything.
They say controversial things. You like TV shows, like you would have like a mutant Big Brother. There'd be mutant Big Brother, and if your career as a mutant or that went pure
I'm a
downhill,
mutant, get me out of here.
who would be the mutant? A mutant, get me out of here. Nightcrawler wins. Who would the mutant Caitlyn Jenner be? The person that everyone would be like
a transgender. Like.
no, not transgender, but that same kind of controversy of like. I'm probably opening way too many doors here, but the whole thing that like Caitlyn Jenner is not a good person.
No.
But there was a whole thing about, and there's a lot more people with her condition who are far more deserving of praise.
Oh yeah.
But she was overnight made into this big sensation, and everyone had to say how brave she was and how great she was and how beautiful she was. It was this kind of social norm. So who would be like the celebrity face of mutants that all the mutants fucking hate?
Mystique.
It would be Mystique.
Well, she's blue. She's a big blue bitch.
Mystique is actually in favour of like mutant segregation and stuff, so like the same way Jenner is against gay marriage and stuff like that. People hate Mystique.
Yeah.
Be right wing people going on about Mystique like it's too much in the news. Mystique is on the cover of Vogue
She killed
as
people.
like 7 people.
Yeah.
What does Mystique look? What's on Mystique's driver's license?
It's one of those hologram ones that you turn and there's different faces.
She's
every
a
time you
big
do it.
blue bitch.
Is Mystique super strong?
No.
Does she get the strength of a person she turns into?
I don't think so.
Can Mystique just automatically be the best bodybuilder in the world?
Yes.
She can go like, alright.
So she can change her body and the clothes that she's wearing, apparently.
But does she get the strength? Could she be Arnold Schwarzenegger and not be able to and still only be able to lift the amount that Jennifer Lawrence
I think
can?
maybe she can. I think.
If she mistakes as a Juggernaut, can she have the strength of the Juggernaut?
No, I think maybe with humans she probably would adapt her strength, but I think with mutants I don't think she adapts her powers.
I don't think she adapts her powers. No.
Could she compete in sports? Because that's kind of cheating.
Yeah. Well, she's like.
Fucking any mutant that
super
comes in
assassin.
sports.
She can make herself like 7 feet tall and compete in the WNBA. Or no, she could compete in men's sports as well.
Yeah.
Or better, like you imagine.
She can give herself a dick.
Yeah, but she can surely like.
But the retcon.
Could she go fight like Floyd Mayweather as Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah.
And that'd be really interesting as well.
No, she doesn't.
Imagine getting
mimic
Conor
their
McGregor to
skill.
fight Conor McGregor. As
Yeah.
Conor
She
McGregor.
just looks like them. They kind of did something with her.
Because if I was
had
Mystique,
tentacles and
I
shit.
would turn into maybe 5 people, and one of them would just be Mike Tyson. So I could like, if I was ever in danger, it would be Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Does she get his lisp as well?
Yeah. Well, no.
I'd be Mike Tyson, and if I was ever cornered
She
in a
gets her
mugging,
voice, like, but go on.
Yeah, and just like that would be my emergency thing. I'd turn into Mike Tyson and beat people up and
I
leave.
think if someone saw you turning from you into Mike Tyson, that would be enough to freak them out. I don't think you'd have to turn into Mike Tyson to intimidate.
No, I'd turn into them and be like, "You don't want to do this." Is there a guy who can like? I'm sure a few like for the drug trade. There'd probably be a bunch of narcos who got like dickheads to watch the fucking dickhead mutants to watch the heroin. What are you gonna do with a border guard? Man, Kitty Pryde is an incredible drug smuggler.
Yeah.
You should just walk over the border. Nightcrawler, just bringing heroin everywhere.
Donald Trump, we're gonna build a wall. Doesn't fucking matter anymore.
Imagine that Nightcrawler walking up to like the lads from to Pablo Escobar, lads from Narcos, like, fuck your entire trade routes. I'll just appear in places. I will show up in a room and just bring the heroin backwards and forwards. And they give me the heroin and I dump it in the sea. Crash the entire empire.
Well, that'd only go for like one
No, I know where the heroin is now.
or two ships. Because, well, if they're dumping it into the fucking sea, you'll do it a couple of times and come back and just shoot them and kill them.
I'd go different places. Like, that's the thing. Do they have the responsibility to stop crime? Because the X-Men can seriously stop crime if they wanted to.
Yeah.
As a fucking end-of-year project for that school, they probably, like, go destroy a fucking mafia cell. And you could absolutely do it. Those children could do it. Any of them could. Like, most of them, even Jubilee might even be able to stop, like, a mugging. Jubilee might be able to, like remind a guy that his car is parked too long and that he is to the top of the meter for parking tickets. In this universe, Blade could still go to jail for tax evasion. Do you think Blade files his taxes?
Assuming he doesn't.
I don't know. I think he lives in a warehouse.
He doesn't live anywhere. He's basically a transient.
Like Xavier cheats on his taxes.
He worked for
The IRS would have
Shield.
Yeah.
The IRS would have to fucking beef up something fierce, like.
But even at that,
Mutants decide not to pay taxes.
Yeah.
Like, or if they decide to be like, I don't know, because like Native Americans have that whole sovereign land thing. If they try and pull some bullshit with that too, because the IRS are the guys who get like attacked by the Timothy McVeigh cons who try and blow up their buildings and things like that. Like, they're the most hated people, but they're the guys who can fucking destroy you.
Yeah.
So they can like freeze your assets and stuff. So it must be really hard if there's like a mutant who doesn't want to pay his income tax. How are they going to collect off him? They have to bring in other. There'd be mutant repo men. Oh, that'd be awesome. It'd be horrible. It'd be the biggest. They would be the biggest scumbags, and then they have a fucking show on like Discovery 2 about them like taking other mutants' cars and things, and the other mutant scumbags. Well, not scumbags like necessarily. But your man would be like, it's all part of the job. They didn't pay up or take it away.
But you see, it's like Russian roulette in that case. Like, you don't know, okay, you've got to go repossess this car of this guy who's refusing to pay. And you show up and...
No, Nightcrawler just take the car.
No, but your power is you're Colossus. You're
Yeah.
super strong, you're super intimidating.
Knocking on the door.
You knock on the door and who answers? Fucking Magneto.
It's like,
Boom.
oh no, I'd
You're
love
a
this
metal-
show because it turns to black and white and seems like, okay, we got a problem here. We got a guy who can control metal, and I'm literally got metal skin. So like, he's not gonna be very happy about this. Like, sir, I'm sorry, you're behind on your payments. I don't care. Fucking break your arms off.
Also, in this scenario,
What if
why does
Magneto-
Magneto have a car? He
What-
can
what-
fly.
Why is Magneto? What if Magneto's not very confrontational? Like, he's like, listen, okay, like, please,
know,
just
man.
he's got agoraphobia.
Yeah, I
Yeah, what
survived
happened?
the
Yeah, but-
Second World War. It's now... He
Now the Repo Men look bad.
Huh?
The Repo Men look really bad now.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need the car.
I got the tattoo on my arm with the numbers.
Yeah, again, so the army would have to have a wing of mutants, or like, there'd be generation kills. Like, I'm the first mutant to join the Marines. It's like, he's just a Marine to us. He's not a mutant. Like, he's just Billy. It's like, what's your power? Like, I'm Toad. Like, Toad would have a jerk. Toad would like reform his image and shit. He'd have to go like on long walks. Blob would lose weight. Blob
He's being the
would
biggest loser, isn't that?
Yeah.
just break the scale.
Yeah.
It's like, sometimes the hardest battles are the ones inside yourself. You just gotta keep putting one foot in front of the other. You might be an unmovable object, but I can now be an unstoppable force.
Then there's like,
There'd be biographies in Tesco that are there for a fiver that are shit, like.
what about time traveling mutants then?
Yeah, you have to catch them. There's just too much. like the world is complex enough, but there would be. I wonder how as well, like in caste systems, like you'd have like in India, if you get one untouchable who has superpowers and he ain't cleaning the road, like I ain't having this.
I'm not doing that. Fuck you.
No, I'm not doing it. Like again in Saudi Arabia, if you have fucking Emma Frost, or not even Emma Frost, if you have Rogue say, I ain't covering up and I'm gonna drive this car, and if you touch me, you'll die. So, do your fucking worst.
Yeah.
There'd be a lot of reforms in that.
Yeah, you see, that's why I think it's like fucking. But there's the other side of it of like, would it be like the X-Men comics, in the sense of would you have basically groups versus each other, or would it be a bit more like?
I'd be
Chronicle?
factionalized.
Like would it be more like Chronicle, where where you're gonna know for a fact there's mutants around and the entire planet's gonna get wiped out because of teenagers, just being teenagers, just being dicks.
There probably would be some sort of thing like they did in Logan, which I thought was so clever, where they just stick shit in the GMOs, which inhibits the gene. It's just like, yeah, it's just we're not having this beyond our fucking military. Like, it's just too much of a hassle. Again, like, it would be probably a thing is like, I need my guns to defend me from the mutants. You know, like, I need my AR-15 because there's lads who can shoot fire out of their arms. There'd be lots of these questions, and I don't know why I'm asking them, but I seem to be the only one, and there should be more.
This is why you need a job at Marvel writing the X-Men comics. Is change the entire thing around.
Just ruin it, make it boring.
See, before
Marvel IRS.
Thinking about the bureaucracy of being a
before
mutant.
House of M,
hard.
there was millions of mutants on the planet, and then after House of M, there was 198 mutants on the planet, and then after the Messiah Complex, Messiah War.
Sorry, but it would be stuff where it's just like what's it called? Give me like Emma Frost might be able to read minds, but she knows fuck all about Brexit negotiations. You know, it would be things like that. It's like you're not actually qualified to talk about this, and it would be you'd have some like kind of a Donald Trump, like a populist guy whose entire platform is that I can make fucking flames, and he like might be made prime minister in New Zealand, and it'd be like a funny kind of thing. It's just like in today's news, like.
Well, Magneto was once given the island of Genosha to run as he sees fit, but then
Did he do a good job?
He was doing a great job until the Sentinels came along and just wiped everyone out.
It's like motherfuckers. I had it all.
16 million mutants or 8 million mutants died.
Yeah, you might have that. You might have a guy like a one-man NSA who works for the NSA who just spies on everyone. They'd have their own Cerebro.
Yeah.
They'd have you could have lads interfering in elections, causing assassinations, or people who can change history. Like your ones like bring back JFK, say Martin Luther King Jr., stop 9/11. Yeah. You know, make Ireland win the 1990 World Cup. You could pay money for alternate timelines. Yeah. They could probably, if you could open up, you could probably have people. You could sell people to live in their perfect world.
Oh yeah, Quiet Bill. Well, I suppose he's dead now, but Quiet Bill could open up portals to alternate dimensions, alternate worlds.
This world is made of oil, so we don't need to dig anymore. So Saudi Arabia's economy collapses, and they try to kill him because of that. There would be loads of bullshit about this.
Yeah.
There would be in the middle of it all, Gambit would own a casino in Vegas, and that's it. His entire thing would literally be anyone you catch cheating, you just go down and go no, and just blow up the cards.
Anyone you catch cheating, their cards explode.
He's the motherfucking king of thieves. He could just he's got the thieves guild.
Yeah, but then there's also the fact of like
running around.
Why do you need to steal things if you can make a world of plenty for everyone? If Storm can reclaim the Sahara Desert, probably could Or Scarlet Witch is like, how about we make enough food for everyone, and how about we stop global warming and cure cancer? Scarlet Witch can fucking reshape reality, yeah?
No, well, I don't know exactly. I think she could probability. She could.
But then there's all
I don't know. I didn't read many comics with her in them, but the ones that I did read are mainly the Ultimate Universe.
She creates House of M.
She did create House of M.
Yeah, but like even people like Quicksilver can run on a treadmill for 2 seconds and generate enough power to probably run a city.
Yeah,
the energy stuff. Storm could make wind turbines turn.
Yeah,
just over there.
Or Gambit could just charge it.
So they'd be fighting oil companies and people like that.
Would that work though? kinetic energy in a sense.
But he
You'd have to do. You'd basically. He'd be the best person in the world to send to that town in Australia that like runs on Tesla batteries. You just go down and just go. Oh, the batteries are okay. We're fine.
Well, he can run Iron Man's armor.
Yeah, like you would have
Which
people,
is soon going to be run by vibranium, I'm guessing.
Yeah, maybe, but you'd have superpowered people. A lot of them, if there's 1 million of them, a few of them are going to be fucking ditch diggers.
Mm-hmm.
A few of them are going to have minimum wage jobs.
Well, actually, there was one issue where...
Not really. Like, again, Jubilee could lose America's Got Talent.
Will.
So what can you do?
It'll get old.
Yeah. Well, that's all you can do is like fireworks.
Yeah, she's only going to work on the 4th of July.
We have been over this. Like, Angel and Dazzler could be a Christian rock band. Like there's lots of alternate things they could do, but they might not be a very good fucking Christian rock band. It might be one of the worst ones
because they still have to learn to sing.
There's a few of these millions who are going to be creationists or going to believe stupid shit.
Mm.
Like, what happens if fucking Colossus... No, I keep going to Colossus. Give me someone else.
Bishop.
Yeah, what if Bishop goes on TV and says something really like I think those kids are crisis actors or something like that. It's like, dude, didn't you come from a horrific apocalyptic future? It's different. I know real pain. You get in real trouble over that shit.
Reginald D. Hunter would be great as Bishop.
Oh my god.
Just blew your mind there, didn't it?
That's amazing.
It was
got to fix his leg first. Yeah. Could big M tattoo. No,
he's got the fucking height, he's got the build.
Yeah.
Imagine that voice.
He can control the energy of a room.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has that down. Reggie, you can do it. If you're not listening at all. But there must probably... But also, how many powers are there? Is there a set amount... Is there 100,000 permutations of powers? Or is there a power for everything? Is there a lad called Tarmac who can just make fucking tarmac?
There probably is.
Yeah, there's... is it Pretty Boy? He's one of the... Oh,
Pretty Boy's a character in Metal Gear Survive.
No, in the cartoon, they didn't use the Marauders. They used the... Is it the Nasty Boys they were called? I know there was a wrestling group called the Nasty Boys, but I think it's the Nasty Boys. And there's a guy, I'm pretty sure he's Australian.
We're falling down like an extreme fucking nerd.
He was made out of... Do you remember the cartoon? He was one of Sinister's fucking guys. He had
I would have to be reminded.
Pink fucking dreadlocks, purpley pink dreadlocks. And
they'd get slagged in the media over that
he's
shit.
Australian. You think he was made of like oil or tar?
So yeah, if you can tarmac, that'd be funny. It'd be like on Road Traders.
Like George was one of them.
Tarmac can tarmac a bunch of places, but he does a pretty shit job.
Yeah.
And he like runs away with their money like an actual Rogue Trader. It's like, today on Cowboy Builders, the Mutant Edition. Like Cypher as well can like
translate any
language and all that, like body language and that.
Yeah.
You can get Cypher to go back and read the Voynich manuscript and things like that, like unknown documents. So that you could have time travelers shooting back.
Oh, the fucking Vatican secrets are open. You just need just break in there.
Not even Gambit. Get fucking Nightcrawler. Just go get.
And Nightcrawler's a priest, wasn't he?
Yeah, Nightcrawler
so
can hop in.
Yeah, but
get everything.
Yeah, but if he hops in, he's fucking bamf. His brimstone shit could get all over it, or smell it up, or destroy it. You need someone to get in there and get it without
Kitty Pryde.
Shit. Yeah,
Kitty Pryde run in and grab all the Da Vinci codes and fuck off. Like it could. Like they some of them will probably be authors. Some of them will write books. Some of them will probably be pretty good.
Yeah.
Some of them would be shit. You can have superpowers and write Twilight.
Do you think at some point then there would have been a telepath, someone who can see the future, who would have literally sat down and went, Harry Potter, what's she thinking about? And literally write Harry Potter before she's writing it.
Yeah, that was our time travel one.
Yeah, no,
that's steal Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Or not even that. Like plagiarism.
Yeah.
Like that big fucking kettlefish. Actors, like we said before with The Thing, on a different fucking event horizon of nerddom. Yeah. That The Thing, if he was in movies, could only be a Thing-related character.
Oh, yeah.
Mystique might be a shit actor/actress.
Yeah.
But she could be anyone. If you want John Wayne to be in a movie. She can do that.
Yeah.
Fuck CGI. She put people out of business doing
Well,
that
there's
shit.
multiple fucking shapeshifters.
Yeah, there's shapeshifters, but there's
Morphers,
also
exiles.
there might be mutants. They'd be like having an empire spread a bit, like how it felt to be the
Change.
first mutant nominated for an Oscar. Because it's like you'd have mutant-centric movies, and then there'd be a whole like you need more mutants at the Oscars. You need more diversity, and that.
We're going to be ahead of this trend. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not real, but there's a lot in it. there's a lot of, yeah. I would ruin comics.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You have to wonder if any of the actual people writing these comics have
broken
ever sat
one
down
day
and had this.
Yeah.
With fucking Cannonball. He just kept going and going and going and going. It's like,
Where is Cannonball's dick? It's- Where does it go?
He's like a sumo wrestler. Just sucks it inside his body. What? Sumo wrestlers, they withdraw their testicles.
They might
They
have.
develop
Yeah,
the
they do.
ability
Yeah,
to
they're
pull
able
it.
to do that.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, they train to do it.
For all we know, they're the
it's
only
same
mutants.
as- No, but it's the same as the Tibetan monks. Do you know the
Yeah.
martial artisans when they're kicking the balls? It's basically.
you mean the Shaolin monks?
Yeah.
They can what?
Yes.
Suck their.
Yeah, kind of. It is. There is a thing that there is a.
You're not
Thing
meant
for
to
it,
do
but-
that.
No, you're not. But like,
No, but have you ever seen like how many sumo wrestlers are getting laid? Probably
Well-
a lot of them actually, because
well,
they're hugely popular.
I don't know how long they live, and I don't know exactly the mechanics of how many one sumo wrestler could probably do in that. They're probably not that long either.
There's the other side of it. You have like every sumo wrestling championship in the world would be won by the Blob.
Yeah, the Blob would win sumo wrestling. Japan would hate the Blob.
And if he did that, would it just be seen as the most extreme version of cultural reappropriation or disappropriation?
There might be lads like mutants that like did you know that like you may not have heard of Toad, but he's actually huge in South Korea under this different name. He's a K-pop artist who like jumps around the stage and people love him for some reason. North Korea, like you could
Toad would be a fucking children's TV presenter.
a horrifying one.
No, 'cause
This is Billy on Jack and Ori who can spit fucking acid and
you wouldn't see him spitting, or you could put him in a costume. He could just leap around. Put him in a Toad costume.
there would be like press things about going to see kids and that. There'd be like bringing people into me. Who would be the mutant Bono who has to be everywhere to like show off how awesome he is? Because I used to fucking hate that. Don't we
Wolverine.
mentioned that before? The Good Friday Agreement in my book, in my history book in school, was a picture of Bono and David Trimble and fucking John Hume and holding up their hands as Bono had brought peace to Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
Because he's a fucking
It'd
shill
either-
for oil
it
companies.
would either be Wolverine
It'd be Angel.
or Cyclops.
Oh, maybe no, Cyclops. Cyclops would show up everywhere. It would be pictures of Cyclops and Steve Jobs and Time
I
magazine.
think it'd be more Wolverine. He's
No,
not-
see, Wolverine doesn't have
but
the
he
notions,
shows up everywhere.
but he doesn't have the notions. He doesn't have the like, I'm great. It would maybe be someone like Angel, because Angel in this canon is now a Christian rock star, and Angel would be about the place, like taking pictures with
Having notions.
Exxon Mobil people being like, Angel likes us, we're pretty cool. You know, like Angel's gotten some flack for like taking money for corporate events, where he like flies CEOs over the savannah while they shoot endangered species. I don't know, they do horrific things. It would be Angel. Angel would be in Time magazine, and like it would be loads of interviews with him, and we'd all be like, "Fucking Angel up his own ass again.
Yeah.
Why don't you fuck off and fly away home?" Angel's gonna cut his wings off for charity. Like, great.
And he comes out as Archangel, the Antichrist.
Yep. And then Apocalypse happens, and the world doesn't know how to deal with it. It's like, well, maybe we should hear what Apocalypse has to say. Just like, what can Apocalypse teach us? You know, like I understand Apocalypse. Should North Korea give up its nukes if Apocalypse is here? How are we going to deal with this? What are Apocalypse's demands?
And then what happens when North Korea figures out that some of the people living in North Korea are mutants with like
Horrific malnutrition.
devastating powers? But just like no, but they have like devastating fucking world-ending powers. It's like
That
South
lad
Korea.
bean the new supreme leader unless they can brainwash him, and that is
No, I think
before
that's a brainwashing would probably work.
I fly in and I bend him over my knee and I do that shit again, because that's exactly what I would do. Listen to a previous podcast where I lost my mind and talked about how to solve North Korea if I was Superman. But yes, that like you would maybe get some of them would turn into dictators, especially in shitty countries where there's loads of fucking dictators.
Anywhere did turn into.
I don't even know if mutants could fix Somalia. I think it would just be Somalia, which is now worse. It would be there would probably be a few mutants that might join Al Shabaab or shit like that, or like the Magneto thing would be their version of the alt-right. There would be
Less tiki torches.
there'd be a guy who literally he's just with pyro going around. Pyro is a white supremacist. I'm just saying, man.
Gotta be careful what we're saying.
Yeah, we do.
This isn't real, Gordon. Like I'm not.
No, you're not kidding. No.
Meanwhile, no one would know about Gambit, and they might make a cool Netflix show like Searching for Sugar Man. Is like, you know, all them times the world got saved was actually this Shaman Headsock did this, and he's actually. Be like, not a lot of people know about Gambit. Gambit's actually in New Orleans running a casino with exploding cards. It's like he had no idea he was famous. Like, and this one lad in Leitrim really liked him. These two lads from Leitrim go out to find Gambit, who like did a concert in Leitrim. I can't remember how Sugarman weren't, but it'd be something like that.
Sham in a headsock saved the world.
Shaman Headsock saved the world.
And he wears magenta.
He wears magenta. I was just about to say. Not a lot of people think it's purple. It's actually magenta, sir. He'd be on fucking Stephen Colbert.
It's magenta.
It's like, he's not very great on camera, but he's actually a very interesting. He'd be the Viggo Mortensen of them. Of be like an interesting guy who's in a lot of beloved stuff.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do. He's got an interesting life outside of being a fucking X-Men. He would be off like Gambit has actually written a book on neoclassical architecture in his spare time. I don't just blow up cards. I fucking Gambit's on Celebrity Mastermind and wins. He's just like holding the fucking trophy for some
trophy
reason.
and charges.
And your man, what's the name of your man who does Mastermind in England? Like, you know, John Humphreys or whatever the fuck his name is. It's not John Humphreys, but he's like he tries to like talk game shows with fucking mutants on them. It's like, so you can control fire. It's like, it gets a lot hot in here, and the audience starts like, oh yeah, well, it's funny. I mainly just light my fucking oven, and
I light my farts on fire.
It doesn't get a laugh. It doesn't go down well. It's like, right.
Or a mutant with X-ray vision going on to Deal or No Deal.
Yeah, we got the lead line boxes.
Magneto on fucking tipping point.
Magneto and tipping. All of the coins are mine. It would be a shit prize because how much money does he naturally win? It's like you could have gone and robbed a bank for way more money.
10,000.
But he decided to be an honest person and go on fucking tipping point. And today we have Eric from Genosha. Eric, where is Genosha? It's like, none of your fucking business. My parents were killed by pig farmers and fucking Nazis, and just give me the money.
Enough talk.